Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. And we are working on a small case study called product case study. And we are loading the data from data warehouse to source system. And initially, the OLTP system will be given by the company or customer because OLTP database means original data they're storing somewhere, right? So this data already they're going to give you, and using that you should be able to create a staging tables, and you have to load the data. So after staging is done, then you have to load the data to the data warehouse. While taking the OLTP data and while moving into staging, and what steps we have used truncate the data in the staging and load all the data to the staging. So only very simple steps we have done: truncate and load. So if you have 1 million data in the product table, and from there I'm going to load the data here. So if you wanted to see how we have loaded the data, and see the previous video. Okay, now today what we are going to do, so this is the thing we had already done: load data from OLTP to stage. And what are the tables OLTP database has? Product master, customer master, category master, and sales master. So this is the data given by customer. And we have to load this to stage, and these tables we have to create on our own based on this data types and based on this schema. Clear? So stage product master, stage customer master, stage category master, stage sales, and we had created this one, and using SSAS packages we had loaded the data. So when you see here, we have load to stage sales table, we have customer master table, we have a product, load to product master table. All these things we have done it, and it's working fine. Okay, so now for four tables we had four tables, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 tables are there, and we had created the script, and we are able to dump the data and see the previous video of so the same session. And today we are going to load the data from the stage to the data warehouse. And if you wanted to implement that data from stage to data warehouse, first you have to create a data warehouse tables. So whatever the data you got, already you got, four tables, right? So what are the four tables we are having it here? Product master, customer master, category master, and sales master. And you have to load the data from here to data warehouse. So we're talking about this stage to data warehouse, and this is your source, and you have to run the data here. And dim product table is the data I'm getting from the original table, and dim customer table, it is also OLTP table. So I have to create SSAS package and load the data to this table. So create the script first and create a package and load the data. Create a script for this and load the data. And dim location table, why customer wanted to have like this? When you go to the OLTP data, I had explained in the previous video also. These are my OLTP tables. In the OLTP tables, this is my category master: stationery, soaps, detergents, what type of category of products we are selling in the Amazon.com. And the product master, so what are the products we have? So pen 18 rupees, it belongs to 101. 101 means what is the category? The category is stationery. So these tables are having a primary key foreign key relationship. And when you go here, a product category, this category is a foreign key here, and this category is a primary key there. We discussed already. Okay. And when you go to the customer master, and who's the customer and which city is staying, and that data information is here, and we have sales data. Okay. Now when you execute these four tables, this is my original data. This data from OLTP to, I have to move it to data warehouse and create a cube. So this is my source data. This data I have to create a data warehouse for this. Now when you see, I don't have any location information here. When you see, so I have only these four tables. When you go to OLTP tables, and I have only four tables here. I don't have any other tables: category master, customer master, product master, and sales. Okay. Now there is no location data, and there is no location data, and only here we have a location data. Okay. And in the sales also we don't have any location data, remember. But how the customer wanted to analyze the data. They have Bangalore, Dallas, and Hyderabad, Mysore, Chennai, Baltimore. So they're doing business in two countries. One is in India, other one is in USA. So what they wanted to do, they wanted to analyze the data based on country, based on state, based on city. Okay. Now, unfortunately, you don't have country name here, and you don't have, state name here, and you don't have those things. Only city is available. But when I'm analyzing the data in the data warehouse, I wanted to analyze so country-wise sales. I wanted to analyze state-wise sales. I wanted to analyze so city-wise sales. But source system is not having that. So since source system is having and the requirement by the customer saying that, hey, I wanted to analyze the countries, country-wise sales, state-wise sales, and city-wise sales. For that purpose, we have to create our own table called dim location table. And this is my own table. This is not there in the OLTP database. And we have to have a location key, and we have to have country, state, and we have to have city. And all the India cities and US countries, we have to insert manually data. And this data you have to make it to, in the data warehouse. And one more thing, you have to have data warehouse means time variant data. And I wanted to analyze the data year-wise, month-wise, semester-wise, and all. So to focus on this, we have to create a dim timetable separately. Why we have to create a dim timetable, I had explained in the previous video, and we can go through that. So these tables are not because of OLTP. OLTP does not have this. So we have to create our own tables. You may use stored procedure to insert the data into this, or you may have Excel sheet to insert the data into this. And the last one, we have a fact sales table. So this data you have to get from the SSAS package only. So this is also OLTP table, and you have to create SSAS package. But these are not OLTP tables. These are we had created. So let me quickly, go to the data warehouse design script. So we have a dim product table. So we have created product key, product name, product price, and category name. And we had created a dim customer table. We have a customer key and customer name. And we had created a dim location table. This location table I had created, and I had also inserted the script on my own. So how did I insert? So in the scripts, when you see, this is my insert script. So this data should not come from the, from the OLTP. This you have to create, and below itself you should be able to give the data for this. I am running the business in India as well as USA. So all that, country, then I'm giving the states and I'm giving the city. So all of them I have inserted. This data is available to me. So this is done. So dim product, no data. I have to create a package for this. And here I don't have any data. Create a package for this. Dim location, my own table, I have to insert the data. And dim time, this is my own table, and I have created the data. I have started my business, say, let us say July 1st. Okay, is the, started, and continuously you have to, include. So I have included the data till 2000, 16 December 31st. After this, so probably in December month, you have to, append the data in 2017 also. So we had created a stored proc here. The stored proc you have to run. And where is the stored proc? This is the stored proc. So when you open this stored proc has to be installed in the data warehouse. And this stored proc, when you say modify, so you would be able to understand it is, taking 2012 and this data, and it is inserted. And tomorrow if you wanted to modify, and so this is the default value. If you tomorrow wanted to insert the data, so what you have to take, you have to execute the same stored proc. You have to say use product DW, and tomorrow, for example, you wanted to insert uh, 2017 data, for example. Okay, the stored proc is having these two dates, right? You can just give these two dates in the same. format because these are input parameters. So I wanted to run 2017 data from say 1 and 1 comma and till December 31st. So only these parameters you have to pass it here. And this script, if you need, I will give it to you, or you can just mail me also. I should be able to give it to you. So till December 31st. Okay. So same format. This is the year and this is the month. This is the date. So the same format you have to give, and it is going to insert the data now like this. So let me see the data. Select star from the dim time table. So when you go to the dim time table, you're going to see the data is available. This data. So total how many records we have? 1645 records we have, and this is till December. So I would like to execute, this data. Let me execute this. Okay, it is executed. Now when you see this, it is able to insert the data for one more year. Okay, now you're able to get the total number of 2010. So it is till the 37. So like that, if you wanted to insert some more data, only these are input parameters. If you don't give any input parameters, when you see, these are the default values. Default values means always it's going to insert this data. So when you pass this dates from date and to date here, and these are overridden. So these dates are overwritten, and this will be 2017. Then later you can install 2018, and you may insert up to 2020 data. So like that, every year, what they do is that automatically they run this for 5 years. Once in a 5 years or once in a 3 years, they'll execute this and they'll insert 3 years calendar data here. Clear? So and that is how you should be able to do it. And this is the the stored proc I have created on my own. If you need, I can just send it to you, no problem. Okay. So this is what you have to understand, how you have to insert the data later point in time. Okay. So this is also my own table, insert the data. And the last table is not my own table. So this is the product key, customer key, sale date key, quantity sold, sales amount, delivery date key, and location date key. All these are the things we have to insert the data from staging to here. So these are the things we have to understand. Okay. So now the scripts are ready. The data warehouse scripts are ready for the dim product, dim customer, dim location, dim time, and everything. The data is also loaded. So dim product, customer, and sales we have to concentrate. So what are the deliverables we have to give from the case study? So you have to give SQL scripts for the stage table. So I'm talking about the scripts, right? So whenever you deploy these packages and this code, you have to give stage table script. Okay. And you have to give data warehouse table scripts. And you have to provide what all you have to provide SSAS packages for the stage. What are the packages which you're creating that you have to give it to the client. So and SSAS package for the data warehouse. This is also you have to give it. And ETL mapping document which they have given that it has to be when this, and you have to have deployment guide also you have to give. So deployment guide means how to install which scripts they have to run, and then which scripts they have to run, and how they have to deploy these packages using ESPAC file, and how they have to deploy these packages to using ESPAC file to the SQL server, and how they have to create a SSIS DB or SSIS catalogs, and how they have to create jobs and all, and which jobs they have to run it first, and once they run these scripts, what tables will be created and what new databases will be created. So each and every step you have to tell them, and you have to give this deployment guide for the for the SQL Server and SSIS packages. And this is for a small product database. You think about, we are doing it for Amazon company, think like that. Okay, so very few tables we have taken and we had executed, and deliverables from the development is this. Okay, so remember, once you give this, and these scripts they have to run. So we are working on development environment, and later the same scripts you will have OLTP, you will have stage, you will have data warehouse, and you will have SSAS, because all these are available, all these 4 servers are available in development. So tomorrow you are not going to have OLTP same as the production, because You are having same tables and all, but the data will not be the same as the production. And remember, and a testing department people also will be having OLTP, and they'll have their own staging servers, and they'll have their own data warehouse servers, and they're also going to create your cube and everything based on your deployment guide only. So they'll follow your deployment guide, and using the deployment guide, so dev people, you have done it already. So you have to give these scripts and everything, so the testing department should be able to set up everything in their own setup. And only thing is that they have to change the connection strings. Okay, OLTP means they will have different server name. Stage means they will have different server name. Data warehouse means they will have different server name. All of them they have to change. That also you have to mention in the deployment guide. Once you run the scripts, once you deployed all these packages to testing environment, testing server, and you please change the connection strings appropriately, and the steps also you have to provide. And once everything is done, again, production also will have same kind of a setup. They'll have original data here, original tables, and they'll have a staging servers, and they'll have a data warehouse servers. Now see, however the production is having, so the testing also will have same kind of a thing, and the dev is also having same kind, because your setup has to work for the testing as it is, and the production also it has to work as it is. So these are the three, or you will have more also. Some people will have testing, system testing, integration testing, and a testing they may have UAT. UAT means user acceptance testing. In the testing only, they will have 3 to 4, or this kind of environments with many servers like this. Clear? So all of them you have to keep in your mind whenever you give the deliverables, and the dev people have to download your code from VS, not dev, so test people and production people, they have to download your code from the VSTF server, and they have to set up each and everything. So you have to create properly the deployment guide, and if there is a deployment errors in the deployment guide, and they'll get confused. So remember, a layman is having only empty servers. Only thing they have in the OLTP data, that's it. So they don't have anything in the staging, they don't have anything in the data warehouse, and think like that. And the layman has to take your document, and by taking these scripts, all the scripts you are giving it to them, and by using the scripts and stored procs and everything you have to give, and what stored proc they have to run, and where they have to run, when they have to run, each and every step you have to mention, and clearly you should be able to provide the deployment guide. So deployment guide is also very important. So these are the deliverables from you. So probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you have to send me each and everything, so that I will be running in my laptop. Clear? Now, so this is what we are doing it. So now let me start with the phase to load the data. So let me go here and take a package. You may take one more project, or I'm continuing with this. So when I go to the staging area, so when I go back here and let me check I have data or not. So the data is here, and the data is here, and the data is here, and the data is also here. So the data is reached to the staging. From the staging, it has to go to the data warehouse. Okay. So data warehouse scripts I have created. So this is my scripts. Okay. The other day, I think I had explained all these things, right? So we have to create one script. You will be getting a ETL mapping document. So we have a dim product, dim customer, we have dim time, dim location, fact sales. So this is the one. And they're going to give you the ETL document like this. So in this, they're going to explain. So this is the OLTP table. So these are the columns we have, and this is the OLTP table, and these are the columns. And here we don't have category, we have a category ID here from the category master table. That table is removed and we have merged. Okay, category name I have merged, and here instead of the category ID, I'm going to take category name and then dump the data. So when you go here, when you go to the stage, we have a category master. Okay, so now have stationery soap, something is there. So when you go to the stage product here, I have a category ID. Okay, but what in the data warehouse, I don't have any kind of a category, ID here. Instead of the category ID, we have taken the category name. So while taking, what you have to do is that you have to remove and you have to look up. So what we have to do, you have to go to the, product master table and take this value and go to this and look up. You have to take up 101 and go here, and this 101 you have to look up, and you have to pick up a category. That category you have to insert category name, you have to insert here in the category name. So this is what in the ETL document they would have told you. So look up on the stage category master, based on look up case category, look up stage category master based on, okay, based on category identity, get category name and insert into where dim product table, dim product. So this is the ETL business rule they're going to write. So who's going to give you this document? Probably your lead or data warehousing architect, because data warehousing architect will decide what are the dimensional table, what are the factor tables, and what OLTP data will have, what dim time data do we need to have or not, whether we need to have dim location data. All these things, it is not the junior developers work, it is probably an architect work. So architect is going to create this kind of a statement. By seeing this, you should be able to create the scripts and everything for the data warehouse, and these scripts will be ready. These scripts will be ready, and after that you have to perform lookup stage category master based on category ID and get the category name insert into dim product table. Because when you see here, we don't have, we have a category ID, but here replaced with the category name. That's we have to understand. So this is a dim product. So let me, create one package for this and load the data from staging to here. Okay. So for that, let me go and take a new package. Okay. Now quickly, 1 minute. Okay. So let us simply rename this. Okay. So here you have to say load to data warehouse. Load to data warehouse, and you have to say underscore. What table we are talking about now? We're talking about product table. So let me take that. So let me take dim product. So it will be good. So load to data warehouse dim product. And as it is, you have to, go to the data flow and take a data source, and the sources we have OLTP source, and double click on this. Now you have to connect to the source is a staging area. So this one you have to, delete, and this one you can use. And the what table we have to use, say customer master, and we have this. So are we loading this customer or what? Dim product, sorry. So double click on this. We are loading dim products. Okay, name and price and category ID, blah, blah, blah things we have. And straight away what you do, you go and drag and drop OLTP destination. Okay, and you give a connection. Now you go here and have to create a new connection to the data warehouse and create a new connection. And here the server names you have to provide, and you give product DW, and this you're going to do. And we have already created a script. So what is the script we had created already? So the scripts are ran and it is installed there. So now we have created the script table. The script table is blank table that we have to link here. Okay. Now you go and dim customer and you say mappings. Now when you understand, so the different names are there. So customer key means, oh sorry, it is again I have taken the wrong table. It is not the customer table, it is the product table. So when you take a product table and go here, it is not matching because the table names are not properly given. Okay. So you may say product ID should go to the product key. This is fine. And the name is nothing but a product name. That is also fine. And the price is a product price. This is also fine. And here you will have issue. Category ID is a small int and the category name. So these are not matching. Okay. When you go here, when you say like this, so here it is not the appropriate one. So name is fine, product ID is fine, price is fine, but category ID you have category name. So when you see this, and definitely you will have an issue. Okay, this and this are not mapping because already you know the data. So let me cancel this. So to get this mapping done for this table, what table we're talking about? Dim customer table. So when you go for the mapping, sorry, dim product table, right? So definitely you're having an issue, right? So for that, what we have to do before taking the data, we have to use a lookup and get the data for the category name. So go to the common and you have to take a lookup transformation and you have to say lookup what? Lookup on category ID and get category name. Okay. So double click on this and you have to say redirect rows to no match output and full cache, and connection is you have to connect to where is your category table, not in the warehouse, it is there in the staging. So you have to use and category master table and preview, and this is the one we're talking about. Okay. Now when you go to the columns, this is a source data and this is your reference table data. This category ID and this category ID you have to merge and you have to bring the category name. Okay, so this is what is very, very important. The source data is joining with the category ID, and don't check this because we don't need category ID because already we have, and check on the category name and click on OK. Now, whatever the data you are having it here, that data you have to send it to the OLTP and it will going to ask lookup, match output. So click on this. Now, this is how you have to, insert the data. So when you go here and double click on this and it has to go to this table, and we're talking about what table? We're talking about customer, not customer table, product table we're talking about. Go to mappings. Now it is perfectly fine. So before we are doing it, it is only taking that. So remaining things, product key means what? Product ID. Either you can do it here or you can drag and drop the lines there. Or you can say name, or you can say what? Category, price, only one column. It is, it will be ideally we are going to have, that is product ID. So we have removed this column and we have replaced with this help of this. That's it. So this is how you're going to dump the data to the stage. So let me start. Now it is loading the data from staging to the 15 rows I have and 15 rows I have. So that data I'm going to keep it here. Now this table is perfectly fine. Clear? So wherever you had, when you go to the stage, so you had this kind of a data. So you have 101 and all. So now when you go to the data warehouse, there is no 101. So instead of 101, we had this. Now this is what is the correct one. Okay. But now what is going to happen tomorrow? When I go to the OLTP and insert a new row to the this is a dimensional table, right? This is a dimension table. Dimension table means you will not get the data every month, every now and then, but once in a while you may get some products will be added to the Amazon.com once in a month, once in a day you will have some 5-10 rows got inserted. But when they insert the data, OLTP new categories or new products they're going to insert here, and definitely that data has to come automatically. But in the staging, we're truncating and dumping data. But here, you should not the truncate the data and dump the data here. That is what is the a dangerous condition. So never data warehouse should have, because when you insert a new thing here, it is not going to come automatically. For that, we have to perform incremental loading. Okay. So again, when you run this here, it is going to fail because you have a it is going to fail because it is going to have some kind of a primary key, foreign key issues. Everything will be there, and because of that, it's going to fail. Because next time when you run the package, what you have to do, you have to perform incremental loading. So before going for this, all the dimension table should have incremental loading. So the staging will not have incremental loading at all. Staging will have only truncate the data, load the data. So here, incremental loading means, you have to apply a slowly changing dimension, or you may apply your own lookup, right? Lookup concept we had discussed. One of the things you have to implement. So some people will write their own logic. So, and I am going to use STD because it is very simple to understand and implement. So you people can write your own logic, or you can implement a merge statement, or you may use, accept, intersect, those kind of a logic you may implement. So whatever you wanted to implement, but I'm going to implement, you may implement lookup also. We had discussed in one session, right? So instead of lookup, I'm going to take slowly changing dimension here, and all the data which I'm getting here, and I'm going to get, so lookup match output, and this fellow will have its own OLTP destination, so I don't require this. And slowly changing dimension is going to take its own, OLTP destinations and everything. So we don't need extra things. So double click on this. When you double click, it's going to give you a wizard. Now we have to take OLAP that, the table. So I have to say product. And what is the category name? Category name. This is the source data. So here the product key is PID, and this is name means product name, and the price means this. And this is my business key that I have to put. It is very simple. So here you have to provide a data warehouse thing. Okay. And you have to do it here, and you have to go to the category name. And I don't want to have historical data. I wanted to overwrite. So if something is changing tomorrow, I wanted to overwrite, or I wanted to insert as a new row. I don't want to maintain any historical data as of now. So let me use changing attribute. So category name if it changes, and the product name if changes, and tomorrow the price may change in the original table. So all of them are changing attributes. If something either updates, or when you get the new records also, it is going to insert the data. So we have, so product name and name, product name, category name, product price, and click next, and click next, and click next, and click finish. It's very simple. That's it. So this is how we had implemented a incremental loading for this table. Okay, when you implement incremental loading, so it is taking the data from where? From the staging. Okay, until and unless staging data modified, you will not get any extra rows here. So no rows got inserted. Now you don't have any extra rows. So we had 15, and let me execute now. It is going to have 15 only. But let me go to OLTP. Now in this morning, what I have done, I have inserted a lot of data here. So we had approximately 49 rows are there. Okay, but when you go to the staging, and the 49 rows are not available here, so this is a old data. Now what I do, I execute the package of the product master of staging. So I go here and load stage product master, and let me execute. Now in the stage we have only 15, so I'm in the stage database, remember, and we had 15 rows. Now I'm going to execute this. So now we had 49 rows. So the stage is modified now. After the stage, what I have to do, I have to go to the data warehouse, and when you see dim product, you did not get automatically those because you have to run the package. You have to just come here and go to your package. So dim product. Now let me execute. Now lots of data is got inserted. Now let me check and whether all this data got inserted or not is this here. So when you go here, we got only 23 records, and the probability is having some kind of a fun, I had inserted some data. See what is happening today. I had modified some things here. So one is that lots of, new category IDs got inserted, and I don't have the matching category IDs in the probably a category master. So it is not able to join everything. It is not, loading the data. But if you wanted to catch the unmatched data, before looking up only, before lookup also, you should be able to catch that records. But as of now, I know the issue. This is fine. So I have to correct the OLTP, and when I run this, it is going to work because these are the new categories, and I don't have proper matching and everything, so it is inserted only the data, otherwise it's going to insert all the data. So this is a problem. I'll rectify later, but as of now you have to say that it is incremental loading is happening. But we had category master is having these many records. It is not able to do because what is the problem here? I have updated. When I go to the stage table and stage category master, we had only this. Okay, so because of this, it is not able to do that. This issue, I know it. Okay, so because this we're having much more categories, but the same thing is not updated. So whenever you run the package, before running this package, and ensure that you have to run this package also. These are the things you're going to learn on the on the job only. So you have to just go here and you know ca category master, this you have to probably execute. So I have executed, all the records got executed. Now let me again execute once more stage. It got all the data. Let me go to the data warehouse and execute once again this, whether I'll get all the data or not. Now I got some 26 rows extra. Have you seen the problem? So I got everything here. So because of this, now the data warehouse is having the full data. Totally you got 49 rows. Is it clear? So whenever you insert any data in the OLTP in the category master or in the product master, ensure that you have to run two SSAS packages, because otherwise if you run only one SSAS package, now however we are getting the data, it will get data like that only. Is it fine? So these are different laptops, they are buying. So this is my data got. And the next data I have to concentrate on customer key and customer name. But unfortunately, when you go to OLTP, and let me go to OLTP here, and here I have a customer master. Okay, this table I'm talking about. When you go to the customer master, you have a city. Okay, but city is not in this. Now they have done something, they have removed. So the same thing they would have told you in the ETL mapping document also. When you go to the dim customer, so what is happened here? So customer ID, I have a customer key. This is the mapping document, you would understand. Name is there and customer name is there, varchar 40, varchar 40. And city we have it here, but city, remove the city column in this because I don't want to store the city here, because based on the customer ID number and everything, I'm going to maintain the same city in the fact sales table. Okay, so fact sales we'll discuss. So this city is there, but city is they're not going to store anything here. But how can we know that the customer is residing in which city and what is the sales happened in which city? That we'll see later. But as of now, this is the thing. So this is OLTP and this is OLAP. Sometimes they may remove some columns also here. And they may add these columns elsewhere in the. So let me create one package for this. And remember, all dimensional tables should have, incremental loading. Remember, and the fact table, no. Fact table, no incremental loading. Only dimensional table should have incremental loading. So let me take and new package. Now the second table, I'm talking about the same table, but only thing is that now this time I'm going to use dim custom. Dim customer, and we have to, so let me take and again I have to take this control C connections, you can just copy easily. So come here and put it and take this connections also, keep it here so that when you're doing the package it will be very easy for you. You need not ask what is the server name and all, because when you get the connections, so go to the data flow and have one data flow task here and drag and drop source OLTP source, double click on this, and this is the staging, and I have to take customer table, customer master, and I have city and everything, because city anything I don't need, you can uncheck this. Okay, so that is the better thing. Instead of checking and putting, you better uncheck this because I don't need that. Now directly you have to dump it to where OLTP destination, and here double click on this and you have to go, and we have a dim customer table and mapping. So customer ID means customer key and customer name means this. This is fine. So one time loading is fine. Tomorrow it cannot perform incremental loading. Okay. So this is also a dimension table, and all the dimension table should have incremental loading. That is the rule. Factor table should not have. And you take this and you drag and drop what? Slowly changing dimension or anything else also. So I'm going to use this, and slowly changing dimensions will have its own destinations and all. Let me remove this. So double click on this and click next, and I have to give dim customer. And here I have to say customer ID and customer name, and this is a business key, and click next, and here customer name will be there. Nothing is there in this, and I have to provide what? Changing attribute, because I don't want to provide anything here. So now click next and click next and finish. That's it. So all the data will be coming here whenever you perform any kind of updation of the name, because we have taken only the name, right? So that it's going to come here. Okay, so 16 rows got added. So first time the data got loaded, I did not have any data, but now you got some data here. But when I go to OLTP, how much data we have? Let us see. In the customer master table in the OLTP, we had some 60 rows today. Okay, we had some 60 rows today, and this data we have to load it to stage, because when you go to the stage, so as it is in sync, it is not in sync with the OLTP, it is only having 16, but when you go to OLTP, you're having 60 rows. So let me run the customer stage table. Now when I run, it is going to truncate all the data and it's going to load all the data. So total 59 or 60 rows came here. And now what you have to do here is that then you have to come to the dim customer and you have to load all the new data here. Okay, all 43 rows data is been loaded. Now, when you go to the data warehouse, now you're performing incremental loadings and all. So all the data is also here. So totally, so one number is missing something here. So I think we have totally 59 rows. Okay, if really any row is missing, then you have to worry. If the row is not missing, if the data is properly getting executed, then you have to let us understand in OLTP what are the how much data we have. So we have only 59 rows, right? So when you come here, so totally it is showing 60 but 59 rows, so it is we have 59 rows. And data warehouse also we should have same number of data. Okay, so these and all you have to be clear. So if it is not, then you have to worry where one row has gone, and they will give you this is a bug. So they'll say that one row is missing, the data warehouse is not getting the data, and please have a look into this. So that is the issue. What is the production issues? People will say the number of rows in OLTP are not equal to number of rows in the data warehouse when I run the package. So the previous example also, because of the category table not updated, so number of tables in the number of rows are inserted into data warehouse was less. Okay, so they will see on by the getting experience, or by with your experience only, you should be able to understand if you have any kind of a primary key, foreign key, all the primary key, foreign key data is there or not, all of them you have to check. So these are the issues you may get. What are the real time issues you may get means this is one of the real time issue. What is the real time issue? The issue is number of data, number of rows in OLTP does not match with number of rows in the data warehouse. Then how do you do that? Then you have to check whether the all primary key, foreign keys tables are having properly a data or not, or any data is truncating or not. So a lot of things you have to verify, and you have to use that. Now this table is having data now, and this table is having data. Anyhow, this table is already have data, and this table also has data. And the last table we have to create and we have to run is fact sales table. Okay, so this table when you take, and this table should not have incremental loading, only dimension table should have a incremental loading. And this already this is our own table, so we have to implement the incremental loading only for this, and this the table I don't have data, and this data have to link. So let me go to the ETL mapping document, and when I go to the fact sales table, and this is my sales table and this is my fact sales table. Okay, so how the sales and fact sales tables are created, let us understand. Let me go to OLTP, and OLTP, what are the columns I have in the sales table? Let us understand one by one. Okay, this is the table. We have a product ID, and that is integer. So we have a product ID that is integer, and which is a primary key, no. And we have a customer ID, it is a primary key, no. So because these are foreign keys. And sale date, date time. Okay, sale date, date time. This is also not a foreign key. And we have quantity sold integer, and we have amount money, and we have delivery date, date time. So these are the columns you're having in this table, and this data we have to create. Now when I go to the fact sales table, the architect will create like this. So the PID will become what here? The product key. Okay, and data types are as it is this only. So let me put this, and the primary key, this is not a primary key. So now this is a customer key. Okay, now sale date, we have a date here, but as we discussed, this is no more sale date, this is a sale date key. This I discussed already to you. Okay, and here sale date, how do we get? So we have to combine. So for example, when you go to this table, I'll get one date. Okay. But whenever you insert this data into the fact sales, this dates column should not be created. I told you this date column will be a separate table there, and you have to, take this date and, map and get the date ID there. For example, this guy 2012-07-03. So now let me go here. I have a dim time. And 03 means this is the number you have to take. This number you have to insert, and this is an integer. So date key is when you go to Alt F1. So date key is integer here, or you can go here. So date key is completely integer. So you have to match full date and get the date key. This would be your integer value that you have to insert here. So these are the new things. So sale date key is integer. So how you have to do? You have to match sale date with, say, dim time date, full date, and get the date key. Date key is integer. So that is how the things would happen here. So sale date key is something different here. So here you have to have some ETL mapping documents. How do you get this? So you have to say lookup dim time table based on what? Full date. Okay. And get date key and insert this into sale date key. Okay, so this is how we have to do it. Look up dim time table based on the full date. So then get the date key and insert this into sale date key. So this is the ETL thing that you have to do it for this column. Clear? Now quantity sold as it is, it's going to come here. So there is no confusion. So it will come as it is here. Okay. So, and for the delivery date also, we are going to have one more delivery date key only here. Okay. So this is also not the same thing. It is a delivery date key. Same thing you have to do it. So look up blah, 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 and you have to get something here. Look up dim time based on full date and get the, and insert into what? Delivery date. Okay. So you're looking up the same dim time table twice, delivery date key and sale date key. And this is what is the thing you have to do. So everything is fine. And when you go to the fact sales table here, product key, customer key, sale date key, quantity sold, sales amount, delivery date is key over. And location key we had added here. Why location key we had added? Because location was the property of a customer, but it is not having this. So if the Praveen is buying something, Praveen means it is having one, right? So his ID, he belonged to some, some city, right? So that city information is here. So I have to take this data and I have to go to this table, dim location table, and wherever Bangalore is there, so I have to take this location key. This location key I have to insert in the fact sales table, and this is one circus I have to do. Okay, so there is a location key is not there. So by seeing this table, we can have product wise, customer wise, sale date wise, and we can have delivery date wise and location wise. When you take location here, so based on this location ID, you can have country wise, state wise, city wise, you should be able to get the data. So this is the reason I have removed the city column here, because whenever you insert the data, you're going to insert the customer ID. If the customer belongs to Bangalore, you have to insert the appropriate location ID for this. And this is what is the one more thing you have to have here. And nothing is here. So this is one more thing you have to have location key. So location key is definitely integer, right? I think so. Same, thing you have to create. Location, when you go here, location key is integer. So when you go here, you have to say integer, and this is also not a, so here also we have to perform an operation. So let me copy and paste this and let me modify. Lookup dim location table based on city. City from which table? From stage, okay? City from stage customer master, okay? The table is having and get city, get location ID, location key, and insert into location key. So this is how you have to create. So for this, you don't have appropriate source data. So this you have to perform another lookup and you should be able to do this data. Clear? So this is what you have to do it. And once you're done, you're able to do the work. Perfectly fine. So tomorrow I'm going to insert only this table and we'll continue further. Is this fine, guys? So anything else? So we had loaded the data to dim product, dim customer, dim location, dim time, and we have to insert the data tomorrow only for this table. So later, once that is ready, then we are ready to deliver the scripts to the the production people and the testing people. Okay, so then we'll have different environments there, and they have to take your packages and scripts and everything. They have to run it in test and production, and they have to test it and thoroughly whether everything is proper or not. That is how the data warehouse will be created in the production. Okay, once the data warehouse is created, then you have to go to the SSAS and you have to do the create a new project and SSAS and all of that. So that is how we have to start from tomorrow. Okay, so this is how the data warehouse tables are created. Clear, guys? Thank you.